and welcome back to Sealand Plays The Sims Medieval. We have quite a selection of quests to do, and I think there is only one of them that's currently on this list that I already did, which is this one. However, I did look off recording and I can do the other approach to this quest, because I think this was blocked off last time. I mean, I guess I could do this quest again if I want to, since there's other approaches which I didn't really pay attention to. I guess that's why a few quests I did showed up again, but I didn't look into it until just now. So yeah, I might do the fur quest, but do the other approach. I guess we'll do a Bazaar. Amidst mounting international tensions, the much-anticipated Great Bazaar has returned to the land, bringing it with legions of consumers from far and near to Otonokazaka. Beyond the flurry of commerce, the Bazaar was normally an opportunity to exchange news and bolster relations. However, the threats of war had seeped into this normally festive event, and not every exchange is what it appears to be. We can do a deputized or out-trade the traders. I guess we'll do out with the traders approach. And we're once again Nozomi! Hooray! The second day of the Great Bazaar found shopkeeper Nozomi at the center of the crowd of customers, expertly dealing away the last few items on display in her stall. Despite the shimmering tension of war, the festival had largely been a success for the people of Otonokazaka and their enterprising shopkeeper Nozomi in particular. Okay, so what do we have to do? Check merchandise and market stalls, and then ask clerk Simon to attend the shops. I didn't really set this up on the last time I was Nozomi, but anyway, I don't know where clerk Simon is, but I guess we don't have to worry about it for now. Shopkeeper Nozomi arrived at the Otonokazaka's town square, cluttered with merchandise displays. Glancing about, she recognized her longtime rival sneering drastically at the crowd. Trader Harun looked just as prompt as she remembered, but now this attitude was matched with garnished, fiery, and gaudy glittering trinkets. Still as sheltered as ever in his backwater settlement, Nozomi? Well, for my use of free spirits, I'll spin you a tale of the match of merchandism that almost landed the treasure of all treasures as a trophy in my stall. So, weeks ago, I set up shop in the harbor town. After an especially profitable day, I came across an old sea dog at the inn. Over a few tankards, he told me of a legendary haul his gang had acquired, which supposedly included the fabled Wonder Pearl. Due to this acquisition, the band was being hunted and had no safe port to anchor. I was able to trade some bevels for a treasure map and an audience with the captain. But despite my limitless charm and deep pockets, I couldn't convince them to part with their booty. And if I can't, I doubt anyone else would claim the pearl of their own. Get the trader drunk enough to talk about Wonder Pearl. We gotta get him drunk. I'm off to a good start, getting Trader Harum drunk enough to boast about Wonder Pearl, but knowing him as I do, it may take a few more rounds before he's properly befueled by booze. Ask about business and then we'll take care of your needs. There you are, Nozomi. While you were away from the market, several customers stopped by looking for items. I wasn't sure what to do. First, there was an old fisherman who needed grassweed to fashion a new lure, but had no coin to which to purchase it. Then a few moments later, a shifty sailor appeared, inquiring about lockpicks. I'm sorry, but I didn't bother mentioning we were fresh out, since I didn't like the look of them. Lastly, a well-armed foreign collector was seeking some religious artifacts. Unfortunately, we don't sell those. Who will tend the marketplace? Well, we got stuff to do, so I think Simon should hold down the fort. Yes, boss, right away, and my apologies for the way I handled those recent shoppers. I just didn't think they were serious customers. Guess I still have a lot to learn about trading. Oh, it's okay. Anyway, trade request with Darren the Angler. Pulling an empty line from the still, Darren the Angler checked his bait box with a sigh before replying to Nozomi. The fish just ain't biting her. Sure don't help that I'm fresh out. Spoke with your clerk about grassweed, but being a poor fisherman, I didn't have the coin to pay. Still don't. If you're open to a trade, I snare me a nice fat leech. Where's grassweed at? Well, I guess we'll figure it out later. Grassweed 3, hooray. Trade for leech. Ouch, little bloodsucker. This constant wriggling is unnerving. I don't know much about leeches. Are they supposed to behave this way once they're caught? Perhaps herbalist Lynn can tell me more about this. I hate to be scammed by some old fisherman. Your leech is a feisty one indeed. Normally they're more docile out of the water, you know. I primarily use herbs for my remedies, but that leech might just drain a sick man dry of disease by itself. I'll give you a fresh vial of belladonna extract for it. Great for making tonics or keeping pests from chewing up your garden. You got yourself a deal, herbalist Lynn. The sooner you take it off my hands, the better I'll feel. I don't have much use for your bottle of plant juice. My crops have already been harvested, and I don't bother with potion making. You might try that wandering minstrel who's been looking for odd bits of inspiration, though I'm not sure how useful that extract is for writing a masterpiece. The second peasant also declined shopkeeper Nozomi's offer and rejoined the crowd. As she pocketed the vial of dark liquid, Nozomi stopped it in surprise. A scrap of folded parchment occupied the pocket that was empty only a moment before. She quickly opened the note and read, "Meet me by the front gate for a mutually beneficial exchange. An interested party." Find the interested party who sent the note by the front gate. Yay, we finally found him. The name is Jimmy, or Jimmy 2 times. I understand you recently came to possess a bit of belladonna extract. Don't concern yourself with how I found out. I just know that I could make use of that item in a special tonic. I'd be willing to offer you a handful of blood moss for it. I could unload this belladonna extract right here on Jimmy 2 times, although I need to haggle for a better exchange. Then again, I don't know what he used the serum for, but it sounds a bit shifty. Altano Kazaka's physician is always in need of herbs, and I'm sure that they can put it to a more worthy use. Barter a deal with Jimmy. Offer the serum to the physician. A physician works in the clinic, right? Well, if that's the case, I do not make a new clinic person yet. 'Cause reasons.
Flashback. End of flashback.
I feel like it would make sense if we give it to the physician. Decline Jimmy's offer to trade for extract. That's a shame, Nozomi. I hope for fair treatment here in Altanokazaka. Guess me, a batch of grog will go without its special ingredients. If we cross paths again, I hope you'll be more open-minded to an exchange. And I could not read. Wow. Anyway, offer the physician the vial of plant extract. Time to make a trek over to the clinic to see if our local healer has any interest in serum. Oh. Okay, maybe I should have not done that, because like I said, I did not make a new clinic person yet. We should not screw this up next time I play with her, I hope. Where's Maki? Oh, she's sleeping. Crap. Maki, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to wake you up. I can always use more herbal ingredients for my various medicines, but this extract is particularly potent. Tell you what, bring me some fresh well water to dilute the serum, and I'll give you a spare combat salve I just created. Oh, thank you, new and improved Maki. 1 draught of fresh well water coming up. Here's the water you requested. As promised, Nozomi exchanged the draught of water for a potent comeback salve. While the physician tended to be crafting, Nozomi had already begun to think of the next transaction. While pondering her newest item, a certain old guard captain came to mind. Oh there, friend Nozomi, it's been an age. Offer me a comeback salve, you say. I am glad you sought me out. I may no longer be the captain of the guard, but that won't stop me from training. I am always in need of some medicine. I can offer you a coin or two. No? What's the kingdom coming to when a merchant is not interested in simoleons, huh? Well, how about my old shield of the watch? It's pretty banged up, but has served me well, and the emblem alone might be worth something to someone. Shopkeeper Nozomi scanned the various messages on the board. Most were of religious nature, but a few were trade requests. Missing royal ringer. Present information to Royal Visor Casey, no questions asked. Skilled guards seeking work for the upcoming caravan season. And wanted unused, broken, rusty arms and armor. What a superb piece. The quality shows through the damage. No wonder it carries the official emblem of Otonokazaka's watch. Restoring it would be a privilege. If you're willing to part with it, I can offer you some useful items. A newly patched cauldron, perhaps? How about a slightly nicked plowshare? No? An almost complete set of lockpicks, then. Looking at the collection of fine metal tools, Nozomi suddenly recalled an earlier conversation with her help. A shifty sailor appeared inquiring about lockpicks. Nozomi hadn't thought much of Simon's account, but now the exchange made much more sense. Kinda forgot about that conversation. Thought I'd run into you again, Nozomi. Oh, don't go flashing them tools around like that. People may get the wrong impression. What makes you think I'd want them anyways? My clerk mentioned a furtive character sulking around the marketplace asking for similar items. Well, I may be able to find some use for them. Tell you what, I'll trade you for this here ring. I found it laying beside the path to the castle. But you promised not to mention that I'd be the one who found it. A royal ringer. Only one place I know where they're sure to be an interested and hopefully grateful patron. Yesterday, a royal scribe went down to the town square to partake in the bazaar. It wasn't until returning to the castle that he discovered his signet ring was missing. Since then, the scribe has been secluded in a tower until he can remember how the ring was misplaced. Neglect of the royal seal is neglect towards the monarch, and that just won't do. Well, look no further, I have the ring. Interesting that you would turn up with the stolen ring. I never took you for a pretty thief. But no matter, tell me where you got it, or kindly wait until I summon the guards for your just reward. Plead innocence. I just found this ring on the road, I swear. A shame, Nozomi. I expected more from one of the Otonokazaka's leading citizens, yet you leave me no choice in the matter. Stealing must be punished. Constable Roman, take this woman away. That is, unless you have anything else to contribute to my judgment. Who knew trades could be quite so exciting? Well, at least with this quill, I can get back on track, proving that Trader Harmon wrong. You make a good case, and have never struck me as a foolish enough to steal and then return their goods for profit. Seeing as how the ring is safely returned, I suppose we can overlook this incident. To prove there's no harm done, I'll reward you after all. With one of the scribe's ordinate quills. He won't be needing it for a while. Nozomi reread the advertisement she had just scribed. All offers considered at the marketplace. Hopefully enough people read the festival bulletins that one will be willing to make an offer for the quill. Shopkeeper Nozomi, I presume. I've read your post on the trade boards. Never have I seen an advertisement scripted with such fineness and drama. I can only assume it was penned with the very same quill. I am a traveling bard and playwright, but recently lost my creative spark. I must have this quill. It is the muse I have been looking for to finally craft my great masterpiece. Before I find my true calling, marketing arc, I was a scribe at the Great Petrian Iberia. When I left, the monks gave me an illustrated copy of the Watcher's Tomb, probably in hopes that I'd humbly return to the ranks. For that quill, my missing muse, I offer you the tome in return. You got yourself a deal. That was a pretty archaic bit of text, but the heavy religious overtones reminded me of something Simon said earlier about the collector. I have to see if he knows anything about where I can locate this individual. The one from earlier, I think he said something about heading towards the Watcher's Pavilion for a bit of reflection. You have an original copy of A Watchful Word. I must have it. You see, I am the leader of the Tredidoni's most successful mercenary guild. The Gold Guard, but a collector of relics long before that. In fact, my vast collection was the reason I formed the guild, as protection for my priceless artifacts. If you can part with that tomb, I would be willing to pass off one of my guild's most look-craft contracts, an exclusive caravan guard agreement with Craftful for the trade season. Excellent, Nozomi, another piece of my collection. Here's that contract, just sign on the bottom to officially claim the agreement. I must be off to immerse myself in this timer. This contract will make a guard company very successful if employed properly. There should be countless mercenaries who kill for this agreement. However, I think I know who to approach about this. I just hope they have something to offer in return. You are really offering me the guard job of the season. I can hardly believe it. After our Ottoman malfunctioned in our last skirmish, I think my men were about to give up hope. So if you sign that contract over to us, I will give you my key to the battle Goma. It no longer knows how to fight, but still makes good company and can do any number of tasks. Just ignore its constant request for a tea party and you'll get along fine. Hanukkah signing. Again, you have my thanks, Nozomi. Here is the key to start your brand new or rather slightly used golem. It's powered down over by your camp in the forest. I'm going to stay here and finish filling out the contract before I give the good news to my men. Hey, Nico's there. Wonder what she's up to. There's a golem I was promised. Now, to get it up and running before I figure out how to profit. It's a robot. I thought it was like an animal. I must have this for my daughter, Juliet. She doesn't leave the estate much, and I would like to give her a companion. Your construct will be perfect. What do you want for it? Price is no object. Beach property? Why, of course I do. A lovely little manor house overlooking its own secluded cove. I don't much enjoy the smell of the ocean and have been meaning to sell it. So it's yours if you bring the construct to my estate on the other side of the forest. I'll give you the land title in exchange for this magnificent collection of scrap metal. While the Baron attended to the transfer of title for his unused beach property in the study, Nozomi climbed to the highest tower of the manor house to check to see how the faulty golem was getting along as a metallic sitter. Against all odds, I managed to obtain the rights to some beachfront property. This means a new home for the pirates and the fabled Wonder Pearl for me. The Wonder Pearl? Yeah, half in the world are looking for the Doldrums gang. It just so happens I be knowing how to contact them for the right price. Say 100 simoleons. Nice doing business with you, Nozomi. I don't be knowing where the Doldrums are hiding, but my bird does. I'll lend him to be your guide, but follow closely with your ship, as he be returning back to me after reaching the destination. Oh, that's cute. Send Dex to find the doldrums. Jimmy's golden parrot launched from shopkeeper Nozomi's armor, wheeling cycles higher into the sky over the decks. Nozomi glanced down toward the awaiting ship in the final step to claiming her ultimate prize. Let's go. Bye-bye. Shopkeeper Nozomi boarded the ship, clenching the property deed that would become the trade of her lifetime. Once the high seas, the Kingdom Envy rendezvoused with their pirate escort and set course for the secluded cove described in the lease Nozomi proudly carried her. Navigating turbulent waters and hidden reefs, the two ships dropped anchor in a concealed inlet. Representatives from both territories met above Otonokazaka's vessel to make the exchange, while the pirate crew began settling up for their new haven. With a flourish of her quill, the deed was transferred to the Arabai villain captain, who called for two brutish raiders to bring forth a sturdy lockbox. Reaching inside, Nozomi withdrew a node-script clamshell, which opened to reveal a glowing pearl that bathed the captain in a warm golden glow. I've done it. From a simple blade of grassroot, I wheeled and dealed my way to occurring the fabled Wonder Pearl treasure. I cannot wait to see the look on Trader Harum's face when I tell him I won the challenge and did something he never could. Thought you'd like to know the pearl's mine. Nice to rub it in his face. And Nico came with us. That's interesting. I didn't see her board the ship at all. Pearl's mine, bucko. You got it. No, this can't be. How? With what? Inconceivable. I don't know how you did it, Nozomi, and I'm sure I want to know. My only question is, what are you going to do with it? He does pose a good question. I was so focused on getting the Wonder Pearl that I gave little thought to what to do with it after. I'm sure I could make some good coins selling it to Trader Harum, or I could likely win some favor with the pirates by returning their treasure to them for a fee, of course. Or if the myths are to be believed, the Wonder Pearl can be used to bless its owner with legendary virtue. Ooh. Huh, I wouldn't dream of giving the Wonder Pearl to the likes of you, no matter the price. I just wanted to prove once and for all who the better merchant truly is. Now will I keep it for myself or return it to the pirates? Return it for a favor or use it to gain a legendary trait? Well, Nozomi is very spiritual, so I feel like she should keep it. So, legendary trait. Trait swapper. Your sim has reached the point where their fatal flaw can be evolved into a legendary trait. Choose one of the 3 traits shown and then click accept to switch them out. Close this screen if you wish to retain the fatal flaw. So, industrious, famous, and dread pirate are the legendary trait choices. I think I'll go with industrious, just because I don't know what else to pick. I did all that work to acquire the fabled Wonder Pearl, and so I think I've earned the right to use it for my benefit. After all, money can come and go, but being blessed with legendary virtue is priceless. Yay! Anyway, we're merchant level 4, and I don't know what this is. Airbyville and Tredidonian War. But yeah, anyways guys, since this quest took me a very long time to complete, I'm going to end the video here. So thank you all so much for watching, and I guess I will see you all next time in another Sims Medieval video, or whatever I make next. Goodbye for now.